Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra interacts with Biafrans. This is a message Ngozi Orebeze sent out to the general public. And Fiñland government divided over the issue of Simon Ekpa. This is the message that make Alex Tob and the party in which Simon Ekpa belongs in Fiñland, which is the ruling party, they begin to have a second thought and also a rethink. And that is the message I will play to us right at this moment. But before then, it might be coming late. Yes, this message might not be a message of today or yesterday. It is a message of 3 days ago. So let me just make it clear for people who will come and backlash me, who will come and attack me. The message, even if you bring this message till the next month, it still remain relevant to where we are going and to what we are doing. So because somebody will come now, I present a message of our lawyer yesterday. Somebody said a message of Mons. God have mercy. So please, in case you have seen this message, there's something I want us to learn on this message, but I will emphasize on that very particular point when we come back after you watch the clip, in case you never watch the clip. So let us just watch the clip now, and then we'll come back for more discussion. But there's a lot of things to learn from that clip, which is why I am here to address the general public. Fiñland government is not finding it funny again with the government of USB. That is the most vital point there. Now, Fiñland government now is not finding it funny. As a matter of fact, now they are beginning to ask questions. But let me just allow you to see the clip, and then every other thing follows. Oh yeah, let's go there.
Nobody, I'm not asking anything from anyone. I'm not asking nobody, I'm not asking anything from anyone. I'm not asking anyone to protect me from anything. I'm not asking anyone to propagate things that are not true to the world. I'm not asking anyone to propagate lies and propaganda to the world. No, this government will never do that. We present the fact as it is, and we expect those listening and following the government to also do the same. We are not going to run a country where we have people propagate lies on social media just to destroy one another. No, we are not going to allow that. So I thank the cabinet members and Biafrans and the media and the allies. I see a couple of our allies that are here present listening to what I'm saying. Thank you so much. Again, we know that in the next couple of months coming, we have a lot of good news coming in the recognition of the United States of Biafra by a couple of our allies. We are working on that. We thank our private lobbyists that are working weekly, daily to ensure that that happens. Again, I thank all the 40 state governors and what they do. While I was there on this space, I have to also jump into the state of Alaudo fundraising and speak to them before I even came back here again. So even while I was there, I've been able to shuttle between the space and the state of Aludo's fundraising. Thank you so much, Biafrans. Yesterday, we were able to meet with the state of Igodomigodo, Eden, Igodomigodo, Esan, and Afemai. We were also able to meet with the Urobo Isoko state yesterday. Day before yesterday, we were able to meet with the state of Hamadike and resolve some of the issues they have. That is my task. That is the task of the United States of Biafra cabinet to ensure that every Biafran is happy doing what they need to do to protect our land. I want to use this opportunity to also call all Biafrans across the world to donate towards this final push. That's where we are. Donate towards this final push for us to go home and enjoy our beautiful Biafra land. Nobody is going to do that for us. United Nations is not going to do that for us. You all saw the war between Ukraine and Russia, right? It is difficult. Before the even United Nations stepped in, thousands of innocent people have died on both sides. So nobody can say our land is going to be gotten by for us by somebody. No. President Trump already have enough things, enough problems on his hand that he is solving. Just like Alberto Obies says, some of us will be in Biafra and will be asking, when is this Biafra going to come? We're already in Biafra land. We are putting everything that is necessary at the right table to ensure that nobody can hurt a citizen of Biafra anywhere and get away with it. Nigeria is already a failed state. We all know that. The killings of thousands of Christians every year, and the president and the defense chief, Christopher Musa, he's not talking about that. No, they're not saying anything about that. They'll tell you it's former header clash. There's nothing like former header clash. It is the reintegrated terrorists they brought into Nigeria to kill and displace the indigenous Nigerians. That is what is going on in Nigeria. And these terrorists, they kill Christians and displace them. That is what is going on. How long are we just going to keep quiet and allow that to happen? No. That was why Biafra declared, redeclared on November 29th. In Latin Finland, we have our own currency, we have our own people, we have our own geographical environment. We are creating our allies. We met all the conditions to be a nation. We are a nation, whether anybody likes it or not. Nobody can make that decision for us. The people have decided to do that, and that stands. It is not, Nigeria has no right to say whether Biafra is a nation or not. That is not within their call. Nigeria is currently occupying a foreign land, a sovereign state, which is the United States of Biafra. And that is why we will continue to use every means legally and acceptable to ensure that the Nigerian reintegrated terrorists wearing the police uniform, wearing the army uniform, having their DSS dungeons, having their police dungeons where they lock up innocent Biafrans. We must ensure, it is our duty to ensure that those apparatus does not exist in Biafra land. We have a picture of the type of police stations we need in Biafra land. We have a picture of the type of jails we need in Biafra land. We have a picture of the modern amenities we need in Biafra land. It is not the Nigerian prototype. No way. All that they have in our land is to kill and destroy us. And we don't need that. All of that must crumble for the new Biafra and the new nation to rise and live peacefully. I want the world to know that Nigerian state has killed millions of Biafrans, innocent Biafrans, forcefully removed able-bodied men and women of Biafra land from our land just because they are Biafrans. Amnesty International have reported this. The forceful removal of innocent Biafrans from Biafra land is done by the Nigerian state headed by President Tinubu and Christopher Musa. That is what they do. They not only do that inside Nigeria, they step outside the shores of Nigeria on this transnational repression by colluding with unsuspecting countries like Finland to also punish Biafrans. That was why Finland is currently holding the Biafra Prime Minister Simon Ekpa for nothing except for what we do. That must stop. That is why Nigeria must crumble. It's not whether is or was. It is happening already because Nigeria is a killing machine. And any spirit of Nigeria inside Biafra land, bribery, corruption, deceit, lies, will not be allowed to stand by Biafran people. We want to build a nation where the leaders are held at high esteem, where the leaders, especially those in the military, in the defense, their task is to protect the lives of Biafrans, not to kill them, not to harm them, because they have a different belief being supported by the delegitimized governors and the Nigerian state, pretending they are working for Biafra. They want to get Biafra. But in what way? Any way that is not the Onyendu Nam, the Kanu way, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa way, any other way is the Nigerian way. And that will not be allowed in Biafra land. That will not be allowed. Nigeria is a failed state. There are no two ways about it. From having two laws in one country, Nigeria practices Sharia law in the north and then regular laws everywhere. So if you are a Christian born in the northern part of Nigeria, like Sokoto State, Kaduna State, Kano State, you are forced to live by the Sharia law. You are tried by the Sharia law. Meanwhile, Tinubu will come and tell you that Nigeria is a secular state. No, it's not. There's not. One Nigeria is dead. It's killing people. How can you have two laws in one country? So even if you're a Christian that believes in Jesus, when you live in a place like Sokoto, Kaduna, Kano, they force you to live by the Prophet Muhammad law, by the Sharia law. That is not acceptable. Nigeria has a policy to reintegrate and rehabilitate known terrorists like ISIS, Boko Haram, ISWAP from all over the world into Nigeria. They give them homes, they give them money, they give them food, they give them anything they want. Then they recruit them into the Nigerian military and police. Give them AK-47. Send them on the Islamization agenda to Biafra land and other parts of Nigeria to kill and suppress those that do not do what Tinubu and Christopher Musa wants. That is what is active as I speak with you. That is what the Nigerian state do. These reintegrated terrorists, they originally brought them in to help them in voting and winning election and maintaining the seat of power, which is collapsing under their feet every day. But not anymore. After they voted them in, now they can't tell them to go back where they come from. It becomes difficult. You can't send them back after they voted you into power. So what do? They now reintegrate them, give them NIN numbers, incorporate them into country. Original Nigerians do no longer enter the Nigerian military and police. Indigenous Nigerians do not any longer join Nigerian military and police because the Nigerian state have populated that entity, the military and police, with reintegrated terrorists. And they kill indigenous police officers, military officers on the battlefield. Just like that. They shoot from the back. So nobody, no state can survive where reintegrated terrorists have taken over the military and the police. None. Tell me the country in the world. Undergraduate students are kidnapped from their dormitories. They are kidnapped from the schools into the bushes for months. Their families are called to pay ransom. Tinubu and Christopher Musa know the phone numbers that those criminals call with is given by the Nigerian state. Because all those telecom industry in Nigeria, like MTN, Airtel, and all that, they got their license from the Nigerian state. So the Nigerian intelligence that is labeling innocent Biafrans as terrorist financiers, they can track the phone numbers of the terrorists that are kidnapping people in Nigeria and demanding ransoms that run into millions of dollars. Because They license the companies that gave them those numbers. But do they track them? No. They are not their problem. The reintegrated terrorists are not Tinubu and Christopher Musa's problem. No. The problem are the Christians that live in Nigeria. The problems are innocent Biafrans that says they do not want to live in a country with reintegrated terrorists. Their problem is the continuous milking of the crude oil from Biafra land, which they send abroad. That is their major problem. As long as those areas are protected, every other person can go to hell. Every other person can die. They don't care. And then you will see Christopher Musa, thank God, he doesn't go from country to country now, come to America requesting for airplane to go and fight the terrorists. Because countries like America now, they're fully aware that the Nigerian state is the real terrorist. So when they go from country to country looking for help, looking for mercenaries, looking for plane and jets to go and fight terrorists, no, they want to use that to come against people like me, to come against Biafrans who want to leave the terrorist state. They are not going after the terrorists. They know where they are. So thank God, recently, most countries in the world, the leaders have stopped giving Nigeria those things, those arms, those planes, which they go and beg for to fight terrorists. Because they know that the government is the terrorist. The government have policies to reintegrate terrorists. So what is the difference? How can you, as a government, have a standing policy to reintegrate terrorists? Then you're coming to America to ask them for jet, for aeroplane, or fighter jets to go and fight terrorists. That's a mockery. No leader in the world will succumb to such foolishness. That is why Nigeria is failing by the second. I see where they sent their police to go and arrest Shawore, and they broke his arm. It's all over the news. So this is some of the things you see in Biafra land, in Nigeria. When somebody speaks up, immediately they become a target. So why break the poor man's hand? Just because he does not agree with your own policies, regardless of what his opinion is. Why should Tinubu and Christopher Musa send their terrorists that are wearing Nigerian military and police uniform, DSS uniform, to go and arrest Shawore, break his hand, take him to the hospital? Now he's walking around with the bandage on his right arm. Why should we allow such a nation to exist? A nation that hurts its own citizens just because they don't believe in the same policy with them. That is how they've killed thousands of innocent Biafrans, locked thousands of them in different cells, in DSS custodies, in police stations across Nigeria and across Biafra land. But we are going to bring them out. We're going to crumble those terrorist facilities the Nigerian state have in Biafra land. Is already happening. Trust me. We will do that. We must protect our people. We must protect our land. And I'm using this opportunity to call Nigerian President Tinubu to release all innocent Biafrans that you and Christopher Musa locked up across the different DSS dungeons across the whole Nigeria and in Biafra land. With the help of the delegitimized governors from the southeast and south-south part of Biafra land. Release them immediately. They have not done anything. They are not criminals. They don't try them in any court of law. Nothing. They just pick them up and throw them inside the jail and leave them there to rot. What country operates like that? That was the same thing they sold to Fiñland that made Fiñland to arrest innocent Biafrans whom they termed terrorist financiers without trying them in the law court. Just dumped them inside Fiñland jail, then went to investigate. And after 1 month, they came to say, oh, there is no evidence. You people can go. Really? They can go just like that. But you already have their name branded on the terrorist watch list in Finland, right? And you think that is fair, right? Because the criminality of Nigeria creeps into any government they come in contact with, just like they did in Kenya. But the Kenyan government was bold enough to go through that process in court and award Nnamdi Kanu. But the African Union, they are fully aware of what Nigeria is doing. They didn't do anything. The European Union, they are fully aware. They didn't do anything. Finland, you are aware of what Nigerian state is doing. Simon Eber reported to you. Did you bring those abuses of human rights to the European Union Human Rights Commission? No. Alexander, stop. You didn't do that. But you were quick to jump to arrest innocent Biafrans, lock them up in Finland cells, and release them because you don't have any evidence. So how long? How can Finland people trust you, Alexander Stubb, to be their leader when you abuse the power, you abuse the office given to you by your people to protect them? You partner with the criminal state of Nigerian politicians. Now you have the price to pay. So I thank everyone, and we will continue to do the needful. I call on the Nigerian state to let our leader Nnamdi Kanu go immediately. He has not done anything wrong, except saying he does not want his people to live in a country that reintegrates non-terrorists. The same message that our Prime Minister Simon Eber has passed on to Finland. So the more you hold these two innocent people, the more your integrity goes down. Because that which they seek, which is the freedom and the declaration of the independence of Biafra, we already got it. And over 50 million Biafrans are defending that freedom every single day, both at home and abroad. Do not be a stumbling block to the independence of Biafran people. I thank the United States of Biafra Defense Secretary, Honorable Solomon Kwacha, and your team, the Deputy Defense Onyame, for what you do every day to build one of the strongest military we are going to have in that part of the world. Our military must be disciplined, must, underlined with a capital letter. It's not whether you want it or is or was, must be disciplined, following all the due process, all the international and humanitarian laws to protect our people, to safeguard our people, to ensure that you don't become market women on social media, to ensure that you don't dwell on gossips, to ensure that that task which the Biafran people have given you, which is to protect them, you are doing that with all sincerity. And you are doing that without harming those you're supposed to protect. Those are the true marks of a leader, of a general, of a commander, protecting those entrusted in your care, not going personal with them, protecting them based on what the country, what the nation wants and directs you to do. And we must ensure that that is maintained in Biafra land. I want Biafrans to be fully aware and conscious of Biafrans that are being used by the delegitimized governors and the Tinubu and Nigerian state to disrupt what we are doing. Be very conscious of that. They can come in different formats. They don't mean well. That is another way the Nigerian state uses Biafrans against Biafrans. That is what they do. So you have to be very, very mindful and conscious of that. We have 40 states in the United States of Biafra land. We have decentralized military. Every commander are in charge of their state and their countries and their districts and their wards. We do not want Fulani terrorists in Biafra land. All those camps that have been given to them by the delegitimized governors like Hope Uzodinma, Soludo, Pitamba, I am using this opportunity to tell them to leave Biafra land because they are not welcomed. They are the people being used by the Nigerian state to plant mercenaries whom they gave AK-47 to kill our people. They must leave peacefully. We want them to leave peacefully. When we finish restructuring our land, we will start finding ways to screen anyone that comes into Biafra land. We protect everyone's human right. We protect the life of everybody. But they must leave our land at this time. All those lands, all those properties given to you by Christopher Musa and Tinubu through the delegitimized governors and the local government chairmen, the Igwes that are part of that, you need to leave because we will make sure no terrorists exist in Biafra land. The mothers, the children that are there, I encourage them to peacefully pack their bags and leave Biafra land. We are ready to move into the final stage of protecting Biafra land. And we will use everything available, legally and acceptable, to defend our land.
As we play the game and the thing is the show. So let me just read the article here. You have watched it finished. And Deputy Prime Minister interact with the Biafrans and also he sent a very strong message to all the whole Biafran allies. There was one point he make on that video which I want everybody to get hold of, because if I watched the video before, maybe you didn't pay attention on watching the video, but let me just pinpoint those areas. He said that anytime soon that countries, our allies, will begin to recognize Biafra as a nation. It is true. There's no lie about it. A lot of people, I went to Adade Orama's page, I went to Sonia Akbarawa, I went to Vam. They went to that place and caught it and they use it to do their own content and give it a different meanings and different titles, which is not true. Countries are beginning, they will begin, in fact, after this month, when we enter next month from September down to the month of December, my brother, there is a wind that is blowing. That wind is still coming up small. If that wind ever blow finish, one day, I can assure you that January of 2026, Biafra will be singing their national anthem in their own land. This is not a propaganda. This is just a very great and good news for all the whole Biafrans. Do not be discouraged. Let nobody gamble with your emotions. You may decamp from APC to PDP, does not mean Nigeria will stop to exist. Anybody who decamped from USB and went to enter Brigade 1 or Brigade 2 or CRC 1 or CRC 2, that is their own choice. So let us just stop dragging it as if there is anything. Where I'm getting annoyed is those ones who are planning coup, from one coup to the other. That is where I'm getting it. I'm getting angry with my people. But if you are decamp in a true fair, because now it seems like this Biafra now is having a very different political parties like APC, PDP, Labour Party, or whatever you may call it, but they are still in one country. So there's no big deal about that. So the Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, during an interactive session with the Biafrans, and also what we call a world press, to address the world over what Martin Namdekan is passing through, and over what Simon Ekpa is passing through, and also over what the Biafrans are passing through in homeland. She shared a deeper understanding on the state of Biafra national affairs, highlighting our challenges as a nation and connecting the practical solutions necessary to drive change for the protection of our existence and also to guide our territorial integrity, according to the information here. So, the United States of Biafra's constitution represents the organic principles of coexistence for the Biafran population. The essence of communities we inhabit, while the government embodies the collective wisdom of our leaders, operating in balance with the principles of our constitution. All the very, very necessary and very, very vital. So, for the continuous restoration, or rather restoring our nation, we must not misalign with these fundamental principles, which leads to disharmony and also imbalance in our communities. It is imperative that we must re-evaluate our conduct as Biafrans. That is, first of all, as a Biafran nationals, we have to evaluate our conducts, how we carry ourselves, what we do, how we present some cases, and how we interact people based on whether online or offline. It is very, very important and very, very vital to where we are going, because people are watching and people are taking notes. So, I said, and as a Biafran, I have to be mindful of how our actions reflect in the society that we are creating and building for ourselves and our future generation. I hope the message is a very clear and everyone understand it. You know, this message has been broken to a layman's understanding. It has been broken into pieces through her voice, through the writer, because I am reading from her platform. Oh, this is not from my own platform. So, just like as I said earlier, this message was posted 2 days ago. Maybe because of my health challenges, I could not be able to meet up to get the message on time. But this message, as I said earlier, whether you preach it today, whether you see this message next month, be in September, or you see it at the end of this year, my brother, the message still remains vital. It doesn't have date. It doesn't have expiry date. This is the message of hope. It is a voice of redemption from a well-trusted Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. Some people, somebody came to my comment section the other day when I talked about Ugo 247. They said, and I'm the true Madam Mbu. Listen to me and listen good. Okute, as you see me here, Ngozo Rabeze, whether I am white or black, she don't know me. She, whether she is white or black, I don't know her. I am doing what I am supposed to do as a concerned citizen of Biafra and as somebody who wants the best for my people. If you, or maybe, let me put it this way, most of us must not have access to her X account, because not everybody in homeland have access to, X, which is formerly known as Twitter. But YouTube, you can access YouTube even without registering it. But X, you need to register, evaluate, verify. So not everybody will have access to X. That was why I am doing what I'm doing, so that every message that has been passed by the Deputy Prime Minister, that most of our brothers and sisters in homeland or elsewhere could not get hold of, then they will get hold of it through me by YouTube or Facebook. That is my job. Nobody is paying me salary. They are not even paying me the $400 they are paying others. Yet some people call me Otimpu. Oh, how I wish this Otimpu will become real. Oh. Can't you hear Madam Mbuna? Some people say they can never walk under a woman. I don't know what a woman did to them. A woman is the one that gives birth to you, but they cannot walk under a woman. Can you tell me, without a woman, can you come to this life? You see how we keep on tweeting fast, carrying ego. But anyway, that is their own personal opinion. To me, I don't mind to work with anybody, man or woman, as long as you have, as long as you are heading towards my direction. If you deviate from that direction you are heading to, then I will back off. That is me. Even if you are paying me, if you head towards another different direction, I will back off. Highest thing you will do is to go on the internet and begin to publicize me. Call me names that they are paying me money, and now I decided to do the otherwise. So that is it. So my wonderful people, I hope you learned something from this message, and I will encourage you to do also the same to others. If you get the message the same way I share it to you, share it to other Biafrans so that they will get hold of this message. Keep it for future use. You might not use the message today, but tomorrow, some people will still come out and say, I had this message from my dad, from my mother, from my uncle when I was still small. And they will be proud to say, yes, this is the message of hope and a voice of redemption. That is where we are going. We are building a future for Biafrans that anybody who enters the internet will begin to search for messages that have been preached some decades ago, which will still remain relevant to where they are going. That is the kind of country we want to build. Not a country like the zoo that have scrapped anything that got to do with the history. Imagine some future generations of zoo. If you not go to Wikipedia or you go to Google to search about the history of your country, you cannot see it. It have already been scrapped from the school because they don't want the future generation to know how they have been looting money, how they have been killing their great-grandparents, how they have been using, recruiting what they call repentant Boko Haram into their military. They don't want the future generation to know about it. And you tell me that is a country that have a future. Nigeria, as it stands, have no any single future. If you are still an Igbo man, whether you're a Bao or you're Hausa or wherever you come from, and you are still preaching one Nigeria, my brother, you are on your own. Believe it or leave it. That is the simple truth. Let us see what my people think at the comment section. Because I can't come and kill myself. Zita said in a very simple terms, Mama, we hear you very clear. Therapist service said, Dr. Ngozo Rabeze, I don't know who makes you think a 5-star general on battlefield, surrounded by enemies, even in his immediate troop, can understand administration, talk less in guerrilla war. Why not give them what they required of you? Forget that Oxford administrative management. Hey, my brother, I don't even understand your English. Obi is coming and said, Agrok, who is the prime minister of this country? Hey, Ma said the only thing that will make you have a problem with Simon Ekpa when he comes out is tampering with the men on ground. That is the BLA and the Biafra Defense Force. Please kindly use the remaining 3 weeks from now before Simon Ekpa comes out to reconcile with Butuzo and his military. Simon Ekpa is going to come out. So when he comes out, he decides who stands and who leaves. At Mouthpiece said, well said, the Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, USB, Dr. Ngozi Chukwuarabeze, is showing the world how government work is as she makes our time to interact with the Biafran citizens. Worthy of emulation, Biafrans are proud of her, anytime, any day. Honorable Chuk said, USB is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Always calling for people, come, let us reason together. Bring that your argument, ask your questions, and we are going to answer you. That is how government are being run. Unlike the zoo. Over 2 years now, Tinubu have never addressed their country. When he want to address them, he will travel to France or UK. A failed nation. Anyway, my wonderful people, I beg that we will take back break. And I go hear my voice again when we come back. As you are watching, kindly drop your opinion at the comment section of this video. Like, share, and make sure you keep subscribing. If you never do that, I don't know what I'm still waiting for. We are moving forward, though, my brother. If you are still stagnant in one place, that one is your own, not my own problem. It is your own. So, as it stands now here, me go take back break. And according to Iboman, he said, I rest my case. Kachineke mezi ogu.